All right, we got a Minnesota team that's pretty much changed their identity since the Jimmy Butler trade. Much more defensive oriented, as you can see by the numbers here. The addition of Covington, the first team all-defense guy, they've really locked in on that end of the court and are really looking to make their mark as a top 5 or 10 defensive team. Offensively, they're looking to play through Towns a lot more. We'll see a lot of the ways we'll defend him, but no, first and foremost, this is a team that's trying to get stops on the defensive end and then run. Like we said with Covington, they're second in the league in steals for the whole season at 9.5 per game. Covington loves doing this, even from the corners, even guarding a guy like Kyle Korver. He loves to get his hands in there, play the gaps, get steals like this. Got to be careful with the ball. One of the best loose ball grabbers, guys that just get steals in the league like this, and they use that to go defense to offense. Tibbs is yelling at them nonstop, run, run, run. Top 10 in the league, or top half of the league in pace this year, top 10 in fast break points. Doing a lot more running than they have in years past. Looking to get stops, and then their first offense now is just looking to run, first and foremost. Derrick Rose, more so than anybody. We know when he comes into the game, he's a one-man fast break. We've got to build a wall. Got to make him see bodies in transition. Can't be buddy running right here. We got to get all the way back and build up bodies, get in the gaps, get in our plugs early. Because if we don't, we know he's attacking. He sees space, he's getting to the rim in transition. 77, that's their call for a double drag. Rose is shooting the ball well, but we'd like, if we can, to still mix in some unders against him, especially unders against Teague. Fly Covington off the 3. Much weaker finisher at the basket. They love to have Towns pop as a second screener on this. That's why, again, we want to get under this when we can, especially with Teague. Get under this second screen so that our big can stay attached with Towns. Doesn't have to really overextend. Really good at shooting that top of the key 3. This is why we got to go under on him. All right, Covington, they don't have a lot of pure shooters on the team, but obviously Covington's a knockdown shooter. That's his spot right there from the right slot. Go under, and if we need a tag, come off the bigs maybe, come from Gibson a little bit. We're not tagging that much off Covington. Got to take away his threes. We don't want to get in coverages like this. We don't want to overextend. There's no reason for this with Teague. We don't need to be in a show or anything. Just navigate, fight your way under, over if you need to. It's fine. Big being a little show, but we don't need this much where Korver's getting sucked in and we're giving up these kick-out threes. Not going to run a ton of pick and rolls. It's a pretty low-volume pick and roll team. They'll hardly even call any high pick and rolls. Rare times when they do, it's mostly random. When the 2 bigs are in the game, we want to tag, like we said, off Gibson. He can make a corner 3, but especially when he's up here at this spot, come in here and hit Towns. We got to stand him up. Obviously, we know if he gets all the way to the rim, great lob guy. Both Teague and Rose and Tyus Jones will all throw it up to him. Again, this is why we get underneath. Don't chase over, and if we have to tag, fine. Nance can be right here and tag from Gibson. Wedge. This is probably the highest volume post-up play for Karl-Anthony Towns. Set that wedge screen right into a post-up. Loves that right block. Looking to get back to his left shoulder. When we fight over this wedge screen right here, low big, be ready. Okay, if we get caught up any on this screen, Fareed right here has got to be ready to come. All right, they're going to try to look for this occasionally, see if they can get this layup right off the pick. Be ready to come over. Wedge roll. Haven't seen a ton of this until recent games. We've started running this a little bit more. We want to get this iced. All right, we want Sexton, if we can, to jump up into the ball, force Teague baseline. Against Cleveland especially, Teague really had a lot of space to operate and got going into his little floater game. That's probably the shot that he's most comfortable with. Not shooting the 3 great this year, but still is looking to attack and get to the basket. We see it here for Rose. Again, good job by Hood. Here, keep it iced. Keep it iced. We can come in and tag. Saric, Tyus Jones, not shooting the ball great from 3. Covington, we got to stay with. The other guys, we can come in and tag off on this ice. Just like Nance does here. But then we got to stay awake. Rose and Teague both love probing the baseline. Nash dribbles. These guys are going to cut. Covington's a cutter. X5 roll. Pretty much the same thing as wedge roll. Only difference is the guy that sets that kind of wedge pick is going to come off a stagger. Same coverage. We still want to get into the ball and ice this. If we let it come off middle, that's when they get you in trouble. With that backside, they got that dump off to Towns, or Teague's got the floater. Again, we're shooting that really well last game. And then a lot of their post-up for Towns will just be kind of random. Just come in and dump it down to him. If we start off single coverage, that's fine. We can play behind him, just give resistance, but be ready. Our adjustment late game, fourth quarter, he really gets it going, is going to be to come from this first guy. We talked about in the personnel edit. Whoever dumps the ball in, we just want to, as soon as he feels comfortable, as soon as he's about to put the ball down, Jamal Murray, we want to come right here, and then we're going to full rotate all the way around. Don't want to give him this much space to operate. Go dig. This is what we need. We need some digs from right here from this spot. At the very least, we're starting at digs. Later in the game, we'll come at all-out trap from the closest guy and rotate. It's way too deep. We can't let him crab dribble and get this low underneath the basket. Really playing through him, especially without Butler. Here's a good example. Closest man right here, Gary Harris. Great dig to start out with. Stunts at Towns a little bit, makes him pick up the dribble. Gets back to his man. They throw it back in, come again. Perfect. Delay. Not going to run a ton of this, but the few times they do, usually go weak side. Little pin down into the handoff for Rose, Wiggins. Their touch series, they'll call it 42, 52 sometimes. Their touch series usually starts with a dribble handoff to the wing. Hit the big up top. They'll try to throw it right back to the wing here. If it's denied, they'll hit the big flashing. Can't give up any of these backdoor cuts right here. And then when they go to the corner, we talked about in the personnel edit, making Wiggins go high. We can't give him any back cuts. Stay below him. They're always looking to have him set up and back cut it. Blow it up if you can on the dribble handoff. When they can throw it back to the point, we'll go right into pick and roll. Again, come in with our tags. Hit these rollers. Non-shooters mostly. Covington, we're not coming same side, but Saric, Tyus Jones on the weak side, we can be in there, take away the roll. And then no, Rose is putting his head down, trying to get to the basket. Playing great, great basketball right now. We'd love to do this. Get up. Deny this pass back to the guard, make them play through the big here. Stay in our denies, stay physical. We can let through these handoffs with Rose. Just know as soon as we let through, we go underneath. They're coming right back to rescreen. So be up and aggressive. Weak side, we can pull in and tag Jang on his roll. Just like Denver does here. Great job. Stay home on the shooters. High hands. Perfect. Touch. A little bit different wrinkle here, but like we talked about, for Wiggins, always looking to back cut. Good job by Hernan Gomez here, making him go high. You never want to be up above him. If we're up above here, it's an automatic layup. Send him high, and then we still got to play him. Dribble 4, a little bit different like we saw just there. Dribbling to the big to start it, the trail big. The big will do the handoff, then they'll throw back, same game basically. We'll try to keep denying, try to keep pushing these catches out, make them uncomfortable. Gibson can make a corner 3, but we'll live with that shot. Fist 1, Derrick Rose's play. Just this kind of little flare cross screen for him. Pop out to the wing, go two-man game. Get this iced if we can. If we don't, just be up, be ready to contest this shot. Shooting the ball great from 3, great from mid-range, playing probably his best basketball since his MVP year. Ice it just like that. Much better job by Clarkson here. Stay into the ice. Good job by Nance. And then we got stunts to the pop right here. Good stunt. Just be ready. Make Jang reload and Big come up and get back to him. He can shoot this shot. Loves to do these kind of fake handoffs, look-offs. Beware of this. I think they call it Miami, but after free throws, they love to get this look. They're going to have the bigs stay down here on this end, and what they're going to do is send guys down the floor and just look to quickly get the ball ahead to Wiggins in particular. You see it here. The bigs are down on this end of the court. They want to just spread you out, throw it to Wiggins, give him some space to get these early drives when nobody's down the floor. Brooklyn does a nice job being alert of it here, showing a wall, and they end up throwing it into Towns. Be ready for that after free throws. Not sure. I believe this is triangle thumb down, but let's just look a couple of their side out of bounds plays. We'll do this into a high pick and roll. Not sure what they call this one. This is a little bit like a set that Brad Stevens had in Boston. They'll swing. Wiggins will come be the first screener, and then Towns will come right behind him and set kind of a double drag out of a sideline pick and roll. Okay? If we need to right here, guard to guard, we can switch this screen. So Hood, you take Teague, Sexton, get underneath and take Wiggins. What they want here is you to get stuck, chase over. They want Towns to roll, and then they want to see if they can get this lob with only Wiggins on the backside. They probably have the lob. Teague throws that a little bit earlier. Defensively, one area they're susceptible is chasing shooters off screens. They're not as locked in. Towns in particular is not really locked into these shooters coming off these screens. Whenever we can run guys off screens, let's get to that. On side pick and rolls, they're going to ice. Keep the ball moving. Second side action, drive and kick. Especially get them with shot fakes. They're really committed to running you off the three. Shot fake, put the ball down, keep it moving. They're flying at three-point shooters. This is an action we'll set up after timeout sometimes, but you can definitely get them with the short. All right, Big coming underneath on the high pick and roll. Jang's got to make a decision here. It's really hard for him to help on this roll. What we really want with this short action is be able to get the ball on this little short roll right here, and then want to make Covington make a decision. Is he going to come in and stop the roll, or is the corner three going to be open? Like we said, really committed to flying. They're going to fly and then fly again. Shot fake, keep it moving. Fly and fly again. That's their defense. High pick and rolls. They'll be in a drop. Jang in particular, Towns too, will be pretty far back. We'll have a good opportunity. Set a good screen. Keep the D on your back. Roll hard. Finish at the basket. And then second side pick and rolls. That gives them a lot of trouble too. You see them in kind of an ice here to start. You get to that quick second side action. Towns is a little bit slower getting over there to get it iced. You can get these backside lobs. And then they're a bottom three team in defensive rebounding percentage. Get offensive rebounds against them, especially on their ice. Bigs crash the glass just like Tristan does here. You can get second chance points. Another thing just to be aware of. Not going to do it every time baseline out of bounds, but sometimes low clock in particular. They're going to come in kind of this 1-3-1. They got a guy on the ball. They got three across on the baseline and one up top. Just be ready for it. Obviously, we'll try to run our set, but just be aware. Find an open spot like they do here. Spread it out. We'll find something open. Play basketball.